Hello, and welcome to the Fear Channel, a channel with regular broadcasts telling the most chilling of urban legends, ghost stories, and forays into the darkest corners of the human mind. Those faint of heart or prone to night terrors should proceed at their own risk. Tonight's story is the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil is a legendary creature that is believed to inhabit the Pine Barrens in southern New Jersey. It has been described as having the body of a horse, wings like a bat, and a head similar to that of an oversized goat, with claws on its front legs and cloven hooves on its hind legs. Its tail is described as being forked. Some accounts describe the monster as being a fire breather, and some accounts describe it as being capable of releasing an otherworldly shriek. Whatever this being is, there have been many reports of sightings and encounters over the past several hundred years. The region of southern New Jersey, known as the Pine Barrens, has its name because the soil in this nearly 3,000 square mile region is sandy and poor quality, only capable of supporting certain species of pine for the most part. The area has always been poor for farming. As a result, this large area has remained primarily rural and uninhabited, and portions of it have even been sectioned as national park territory. The area was inhabited solely by the Lenni Lenape Native American tribe until 1609, when Henry Hudson mapped this area for the Dutch government. The Native American tribes did refer to the Pine Barrens as the place of the dragon, but it is uncertain if this refers to the Jersey Devil's fire-breathing abilities. While no early Native American stories speak of anything resembling the Jersey Devil myth, there are later Native American tales that coincide with the incident. One old Native American legend tells of a group of hunters who tried to locate and kill the Jersey Devil after it began attacking their livestock. These skilled hunters went into the woods and found nothing. In the months that followed their excursion, one by one, each member of the hunting party disappeared, presumed dead but never found, seen, or heard from again. The most popular origin story for the Jersey Devil takes place in 1735. A mother of 12 children states that if she has another child, may it be a devil. That year she became pregnant again, and when she gave birth, the child was a monstrosity. The demon child escaped the house of its birth and fled into the woods. There is also a much darker version of this tale. Once again, it features a mother of 12 children. This time, she says that if she has any more children, may they be twins, and the devil can have them both. Once again, the woman becomes pregnant, but gives birth to 2 monstrosities. One of them is killed by suffocation underneath the mattress of its birthing bed. While this is happening, the other creature escapes into the woods. In both versions of the tale, the locals are fed up with the creature by 1740, and the frightened residents begged a local minister to exorcise the creature. The stories stated that the exorcism would banish the creature for 100 years. However, the devil returned to the Pine Barrens on at least 2 occasions before the century was over. Legend has it that naval hero Commodore Stephen Decatur visited the Hanover Iron Works in the Barrens in 1800 to test the plant's cannonballs. One day on the firing range, he noticed a strange creature flying overhead. Taking aim, he fired at the monster, and while some say that his shot struck it, the devil continued on its path. The second sighting took place a few years later, and this time the devil was seen by another respected witness, Joseph Bonaparte. The former king of Spain and the brother of Napoleon, leased a country house near Bordertown from 1816 to 1839. He reported seeing the Jersey Devil while hunting game one day in the Pine Barrens. In 1840, as the minister warned, the devil returned and brought terror to the region once again. It snatched sheep from their pens and preyed on children who lingered outside after sunset. People all across South Jersey locked their doors and hung a lantern on the doorstep hoping to keep the creature away. The stories continued to be told, and the lore of the devil continued throughout the 1800s, although actual sightings of the creature were few. The vast majority of sightings took place much later, in 1909. In this year, the Jersey Devil returned again, and literally thousands of people spotted the monster or saw his footprints. It became so bad that schools closed and people refused to go outside. In spite of the sightings, the beast was always considered a regional legend until the bizarre surge in 1909, which even the most skeptical researchers admit contains authentic elements of the unexplained. Many people saw the creature during the month of January, including E.W. Minster, the postmaster of Bristol, Pennsylvania, which is just over the New Jersey border. He stated that he woke around 2 a.m. in the morning and heard an eerie, almost supernatural sound coming from the direction of the Delaware River. He looked out the window and saw what looked to be a large crane flying diagonally and emitting a strange glow. The creature had a long neck that was thrust forward in flight, thin wings, long back legs, and shorter ones in the front. The creature let out a combination of a squawk and a whistle, and then disappeared into the darkness. Sightings continued. On January 19, 1909, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Evans were awakened in the early morning by the sound of a large animal on the roof of their shed. They described it as about 3.5 feet high, with the face like a collie and a head like a horse. It had a long neck, wings about 2 feet long, and its back legs were like those of a crane, and it had horse's hooves. It walked on its back legs and held 2 short front legs with paws on them. One afternoon of that same week, a Mrs. J.H. White was taking clothes off her line when she noticed a strange creature huddled in the corner of her yard. She screamed and fainted, and her husband rushed out the back door to find his wife on the ground and the devil close by, spurting flames. She chased the monster with a clothesline prop, and it leapt over the fence and vanished. A short time later, the creature struck again. This time it attacked a dog belonging to Mrs. Mary Sorbinski in South Camden. When she heard the cry of her pet in the darkness, she dashed outside and drove the devil away with a broom. The creature fled, but not before tearing a chunk of flesh from the dog. Mrs. Sorbinski carried her wounded pet inside and immediately called the police. By the time that patrolmen arrived, a crowd of more than 100 people were gathered at the house. The crowd was witness to the piercing screams that suddenly erupted from nearby. The police officers emptied their revolvers at the shadow that loomed against the night sky, but the devil escaped once again. Eyewitness accounts of the devil filled the newspapers, as well as photos and reports of cloven footprints that had been found in yards, woods, and parking lots. The Philadelphia Zoo offered a $10,000 reward for the capture of the devil, but there were no takers. Then, as suddenly as it had come, the devil vanished again. The creature did not return until 1927, when a cab driver was changing a tire one night while headed for Salem. He had just finished when his car began shaking violently. He looked up to see a giant winged figure pounding on the roof of his car. The driver, leaving his jack and flat tire behind, jumped into the car and quickly drove away. He reported the encounter to the Salem police. In August 1930, berry pickers at Leeds Point and Mays Landing reported seeing the devil, crashing through the fields and devouring blueberries and cranberries. It was reported again 2 weeks later to the north, and then it disappeared once more. In November of 1951, a group of children were allegedly cornered by the devil at the Dewport Clubhouse in Gibbstown. The creature bounded away without hurting anyone, but reports claim that it was spotted by dozens of witnesses before finally vanishing once again. Sightings continued for years, and then peaked once more in 1960, when blood-curdling cries terrorized a group of people near Mays Landing. State officials tried to calm the nervous residents, but no explanation could be found for the weird sounds. Policemen nailed signs and posters everywhere stating that the Jersey Devil was a hoax, but but curiosity seekers flooded into the area anyway. Harry Hunt, who owned the Hunt Brothers Circus, offered $100,000 for the capture of the beast, hoping to add it to his sideshow attractions. Needless to say, the monster was never snared. The most recent sightings of the creature was said to have been in 1993, when a forest ranger named John Irwin was driving alongside the Mullica River in southern New Jersey. He was startled to find the road ahead of him blocked by the Jersey Devil. He described it as being about 6 feet tall, with horns and matted black fur. Irwin stated that he and the creature stared at one another for several minutes before the monster finally turned and ran into the forest. Fire has been interlaced with the legend for many years. Some sightings have claimed that the Jersey Devil has the ability to shoot flames out of its nostrils and mouth. Other sighting reports hint that the creature may be attracted to fire, as it has turned up several times during bonfires. But even more interestingly enough, many items that have connections to the legend have burned. The supposed birthplace burned down sometime between 1951 and 1952. Paintings of the devil have caught fire overnight and burned down entire buildings. Other retellings of the legend state that the devil is responsible for the frequent fires that burn down large sections of the Pine Barrens from time to time. While the legend of the Jersey Devil has many stories of eyewitness accounts, there is little in the way of photographic or physical evidence. Regardless, people still head to the New Jersey Pine Barrens in search of the devil each year. While the trail has gone cold in recent decades, many are still holding out for one more sighting.